Manami, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here.
Likewise. To start, can you tell us a little bit about your background working with individuals and communities impacted by natural disasters?
Yes. I found that Brew Having Therapy is a nonprofit mental health organization, and we've been working for 9 years. And we're providing psychotherapy, psychoeducation, and mental health consultation to very diverse clients and communities here. And so mainly like we focus on working with the people in California, but so personally, I'm originally from Japan. So around the disaster, it was the 2011. We had a big earthquake and a tsunami over there. So of course, that's my home country. So I have been working with like many art therapists and then professional who can speak Japanese. So we've been in Japan a couple of times and then supporting the survivors over there. So that's kind of, the history I have. And then so pretty much like we continue supporting those communities.
So, based on your experience, what have you found are some of the most common psychological challenges that disaster survivors face?
Yes. So when we have that kind of disaster, so many people experience a lot of psychological symptoms, like for example, maybe acute stress, trauma like a PTSD, and then grief. So these like kind of major psychological symptoms we experience. But at the same time, people have a lot of emotional reaction, like feeling frustrated, stress, anger, sadness and sense of loss. So people have a lot of emotional reaction, even they don't have a psychological symptoms, but people process a lot of emotional experience.
And how do those experiences shape long-term mental health in your experience?
Yes, so it can be acute stress for some people, but for some people, of course, like a coping speed and a coping strategy is very different, depend on each person. So it's gonna be more like a chronicle distress sometimes. So people have more psychological symptoms for long term, or some people have more like a physical symptoms in a long term. So there is like some range from acute to like more chronicle symptoms.
What are your thoughts on kind of early indicators that, some people's acute symptoms are going to turn into chronic symptoms? And I know we're going to talk about the strategies you recommend to help avoid that, but do you have any insights into that?
Yeah, so this is like kind of very similar to stress symptoms when people experience those disasters. So we kind of try to figure out so what kind of symptoms they express. So sometimes more physical, can be psychological, can be behavioral change. Uh, as like the reality, people have a lot of behavioral change after they experience a disaster. So behavioral change is another thing. And also cognition. So people have different like cognitive like distortion sometimes. So we really try to see how people express like those stress and then like emotional difficulties. But it really depends on the people. So we really need to figure out so what kind of stress symptoms they have after the disaster.